Hello, I'm Rachel Wetstein. I am the Music Librarian and Editorial Assistant for Transcontinental Music Publications, a division of URJ Books and Music. For those of you who may not know much about us, I'll tell you quickly. Transcontinental Music Publications was started back in 1938 by Joseph Freudenthal and his wife Marie. Joseph Freudenthal was a composer of synagogue music. One of his most famous tunes has been sung in synagogues all over America, if not the entire world. You may recognize it. Ein Keloheinu, Ein Kadonenu. That was a Freudenthal song. After a few years, Joseph and Marie turned Transcontinental Music over to the Union of American Hebrew Congregations, as we were then called, because it got too big for them. It got out of hand. And ever since then, we have managed to raise ourselves to the point where we proudly call ourselves the world's leading publisher of Jewish music. What we do is produce mostly music for Jewish choirs, also some songbooks, and a couple of times a year we put out a collection of choral pieces, and I'm here to tell you right now about our fall and winter chorals for 2012. Since Hanukkah is coming up, let me tell you first about some Hanukkah pieces of ours. Now, this is a piece called Hanukkah Prayer for Children by composer Ryan Brechmacher and lyricist Ian Pomerantz. This one has actually been in our catalog for a while, but this one is a new version. The first one was for mixed choir, SATB, soprano, alto, tenor, bass, but Brechmacher has now come up with a new version for SSA, women's choir, or treble choir, which will be very useful in schools which do not have enough boys in their choir to make up 4 parts. It's in English. It's very easy to understand. Well, most of it's in English. It does have a line in Hebrew, but the line is Ma'os Tzur Yeshuati, which most people already know. So it will not be too difficult for most choirs, even if they're not very familiar with Hebrew. Here is a new publication, Raise Up the Menorah. It's actually part of a larger work for Hanukkah. The composer is Elliot Balin. And this piece was commissioned by Congregation Rodef Shalom here in New York City. It's also in English. It describes a group of enthusiastic young Jews, Maccabees, cleaning up the temple after they won the war. And it's in English. Did I say that already? Very popular with schools. Rodef Shalom has been performing it for years, but this is the first time it's been in print, available to everyone. We have 2 new pieces by one of our up-and-coming, actually he's more than up-and-coming, he's actually quite well-known even outside the Jewish world, composer Steve Cohen, Yismechu and Adonai Malach. Steve is known for his very driving contemporary rhythms. His songs are maybe not the easiest to learn. They're challenging, but they are fun. They are easy to remember once you know them, and they are great to listen to as well as to sing. We have various series that we publish. I should mention that the Brechmacher piece is part of what we call the Westminster Conservatory Youth Chorale Jewish Music Series. And we also have the Western Wind series. The Western Wind is a small a cappella vocal group of the highest caliber that does all kinds of music, including Jewish music, and some of these are their arrangements. This is by Elliot Z. Levine, one of their members, his Hine Matov, number 2. This year was the centenary year of the great Chicago-based Jewish composer Max Janowski, and in his honor, we have come up with 3 arrangements of old classics of his. We have Yibaneh HaMikdash, Hariu, and Sim Shalom. These are arrangements by Jonathan Miller of Chicago A Cappella. The originals were mostly for mixed choir with cantor soloist and organ. These can be done without organ because it's now what we call double choir, 2 soprano lines, 2 alto, 2 tenor, 2 bass, antiphonal choir, you might say. So they can be done without accompaniment. Because the second choir provides an accompaniment. And you'll see some of you who've been buying these for years will recognize the cover. I have here an old cover from one of our old Janowski publications. You'll see that we've updated the look a little bit, but maintained the integrity because Janowski's works were so special and his series was particularly unique. We wanted to maintain the look. We have here a piece by Simon Sargent, one of our veteran composers. It's for 3-part choir, but a variety of combinations could be used. You could do it in 2 parts with accompaniment and so forth. The words are from Pirkei Avot, Sayings of the Fathers, and it sets a peaceful mood in keeping with the traditions of the text. Back to the Westminster Conservatory Chorale series, we have a new composer, Michael Feely, who has written a setting of Psalm 27, which is "The Lord," or Adonai, "is my light." It's for SATB and keyboard, and like all of the titles in this series, feel free to look up the others on our website. This one is perfect for high school-aged mixed voices, and because it's in English, it should present no problem for public high schools, colleges, and so forth who are unfamiliar with Hebrew. This is a re-release of an item that's been in our catalog for a while. This is by Stephen M. Cohen, not to be confused with Steve Cohen. We've had some fun with that. This is a French Sephardic song, very unusual for us. But this has been in the catalog for a while, but Stephen Cohen recently did a new version of it with some added text because he rediscovered some old text he had not originally known about. So we've now published a version with the entire text. It is mostly in French with a couple of lines of Hebrew. We've provided a Hebrew pronunciation guide as we always do, but in this case we also provided a French pronunciation guide, which was challenging, but we think we've done it quite accurately. And we have Shabbat Cycle by Russell Nadell. This is not actually a choral piece. The reason we've added it is that this piece was the winner of a recent contest. It was the Guild of Temple Musicians Young Composers Award winner, as a result of which one of the prizes is that the piece gets published. It is a rather virtuosic solo piece. This is definitely for cantors who really want to show off their voices, singers who want to do this in a recital, and of course it's very appropriate for a Friday night service if you want to intersperse a somewhat virtuosic piece for the congregation to sit and listen and be inspired, which in between the songs which they know better and they can sing along with. It provides a nice balance in the service. So we hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions about any of this, please free to call me at 212-650-4101. I'm happy to answer any questions you have about these chorals or any others. Thank you.